Okay. And I'm going to hide this. So we need to get the customer name into our order details. Okay. Meanwhile, order details hasn't got customer ID. There's no link at all to direct to customer. We don't to the customer's table. We don't have that direct link. So there's two ways I'm thinking around solving this. One is, why don't we bring the customer ID from orders, because orders is directly, you can directly link orders to order details using the order ID. They both have the order ID, and I can see that order ID is seen as text here, while it's seen as number here. So we might as well just quickly change that so that we don't keep, going back. And it's recorded the step there for us that we've changed data type, Okay. I think I'll do the same for employee ID here as well. Text. So all our IDs, let's leave them as text. All right. So either I bring the customer ID here and then go on to customers and get my whatever it is I need from there, or I bring the customer name into orders first and then, get it into order details. Which do you think is the more efficient way to do it?
Can you please repeat the first option?
Okay, the first option is, so since we've got customer ID here in orders,
right?
Why don't we get the customer ID into the order details?
Right.
So that way, order details can have a direct link into customers.
Right.
Okay. And then whatever information we need from customers, we can just directly, get it through because now they have a link.
Right.
So either we do that or we say, okay, since customers, and others have customer ID in common, so let's bring the names into orders first and then get it into order details. Basically what we did with our ERD before. That's what that second option is. What do you think?
So unless I'm missing something, it has to be the first option, I would have thought.
Yes, I would go with the first option as well, because, with Power Query, and even when we start working more with Power BI, it's always best to have all your IDs within your facts table so that we can form a good schema, a good data structure with all of the tables. I believe I've explained what we call the star schema, where you've got the facts table in the middle and every other dimension table is linked directly to it. That is the star schema, and that's always the best kind of data model to have. And that can only happen if every ID within this table is actually found here, because then categories ID, categories table will have a direct link onto order details, because category ID is also found within the order details. The same goes for customers, the same goes for employees, and on and on and on like that. So with this scenario now, I would bring the customer's ID into our order details. And how do we do that? So let's merge, let's merge and bring that customer's ID from this table, orders table, into order details. Okay, so let's see if anyone can remember how we do our merge again. We need a reminding, please. How do we merge? I've clicked on the other details, which is the table, the first table. Okay. Then under home, we've got merge queries. I click on this down button, this drop down button, and I should have two options. Merge queries or merge queries as new. Now, merge queries will just merge the two queries into one, so you don't have a new table formed. Merge queries as new would form an entirely new table. So it will be that you've got your order details, you've got the table you are merging, and then a third one where the whole merging occurred. So that will be creating more tables, which we don't need in this case. So I'll choose the merge queries option, and here we are. Now I come to the drop down button here. And the table I need is the orders table, okay? With the orders table, I can use order ID. I'm going to click both order ID because they are both unique in both tables. And, we've got a good pick here. It can find all of the rows. So it says the selection matches 2,155 of 2,155 rows from the table, from the first table. So that's a good sign. Okay. Sometimes it could be that it's only it matches 2,000 out of 2,155. So some IDs are missing, and that's not always best. It means we will lose some of the data if that happened. But in this case, we are fine. So I'll okay that. And now we've got a new step put in, merged queries 1. Okay. And the whole table was brought in. As we can see, it says tables, table, 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 and down like that. Okay. So we use these opposite facing arrows to expand. Okay. And here, we've got all of the columns from orders right here. Okay. So I'm going to unselect all and just concentrate on what I really want to bring in. Okay. Sometimes you might want to bring in more columns. And I'm thinking we might need employee ID as well. I know we started with, okay, let's bring our customer ID in. But while we are here, so that we don't have to repeat this step, I'm just going to bring in everything on no order ID. We got order ID in this table already. So customer ID we definitely need. I can bring employee ID in so that we have a direct link to employee as well, employee table as well. If I need all of these order dates, required date, ship via, and they are not here yet, then it will be good for me to bring them all in. I think we will need the ship via so that we can have a direct link into the shippers table. Okay. Yes, and that's it really. All right, so I'm just going to, I'm going to unclick this. If I leave it checked, it would complicate the name of our column. Okay, let me leave it checked so that you see what I mean. So let's okay this. Okay, so look at the name of the column is the way it's named the column. It says orders.customer ID. But I just want it to be customer ID. So if you don't want it to bring a complex name, so to say, into your table, it's always good to uncheck that. So I'm going to go back into that step. It's not, okay, yeah. It's not bringing that option anymore. Default column name prefix optional. Okay, actually I can do it here. I can remove that default prefix, and okay that. and that should solve the problem. So it's removed that now. Customer ID, employee ID, ship here, and on and on and on like that. Okay. In fact, now that I think of it, if we've got every table here linked into our table, into our fact table, we might not necessarily need to go and bring customer name or bring employee's name, or we might, I said might, we might not. But let's take it one step at a time. Let's simplify it before we get to the complex stages, So I've got customer ID, I've got employee ID. Okay, so if I need, say, customer's name now in this table, I'll do another merge. Okay, so I'm just going to click on my order details, which is the first table, and merge queries. And because I need information from customers, I'm going to pick customers, customer ID, and I've got customer ID here as well. Okay, so I click on those two, and it's saying that it's found everything, so which is good for us. Okay, so we bring the table in again, and I'm going to unselect all. We don't need customer ID. We need customer name, customer contact name. So we'll bring those two in. Probably city, region, and country. Did we do this part yesterday? It looks like it's we're repeating this step to me. Did we bring in customer's name yesterday or not?
I think we changed the names yesterday.
Okay.
From company name to customer name.
Okay, but we didn't bring it into other details yet.
I'm not too sure if we did that.
Okay, we will see now. If we did, it's going to let us know anyway. So, and then country. So let's okay that. Okay. Customers dot. So let me see. It looks like we did. Okay. So we done supplier. Okay, we brought in supplier name, category. Okay. Okay, we didn't do customers. We did the suppliers, which is fine. I'm just gonna go back into this step and remove that customers. That's the prefix. I don't want it. I should have unchecked before, and we've got a kind of a conflict of interest here. Remember that we had supplier, country, city when we did suppliers yesterday. Supplier contact. So the city here is actually the supplier city. Okay, now we've got city here, and now we've brought in city from the customers table, which are not necessarily the same thing. Okay, and within one table, it's not going to let us have the same name for two columns. That's why it's put it as .1 and .1 for these ones. Okay, so it's best to name our columns in a way that we understand when we are doing our analysis. So I'm just going to put customer or customers in front of this, customers city. So, and then customers country here as well. Customers country. Okay. And it might be best to put the supplier, so that if we are looking at any of our measures by supplier city, we'll know it's actually supplier city that we meant here. not just any city, and its supplier country as well here. No. Okay. So I think we've got quite a lot right now. I'm just gonna close and load this. Okay. So we'll wait for it to finish, loading. And that's done now. I'm going to close this so that we can see the whole table. And we come here, and it's brought in quite a lot of information for us. So customer name to customer's country, because we had customer name here somewhere before, I believe. That's why it's put that as customer name too. So all these ones, all these ones that have shifted, I think it's safe to delete them. I'm going to delete this as well. Delete. Okay. Have we got customer name somewhere? So I've got customer name here, customer contact name. Okay, so we actually brought in customers yesterday because now it's been done twice. So customer name, customer contact name, customer city. If these are the same, I'm going to just delete one of them. Yeah. Let's delete.
Are they not different? Oh, are they the same? Okay.
They are, yeah, they're the same. See, that's why it's the same thing. So I'm going to take that out. And now we've got this much. Okay. Customer name, contact name, customer city. And we've got suppliers as well. Let's go bring in something of employee, maybe employee name as well, so that we can quickly run our pivot table very quickly. So let's edit from here. Yeah. Since we've got employee ID here as well, somewhere. I'm sure we brought in employee ID. Yeah, we did. And on employees table, we've got employee ID, which I'm also gonna change to text so that they are the same thing. Okay, so we can then merge employee in. So again, merge queries, merge. And we need the employees table, and we need the employee ID and the employee ID here. Okay, and it's found all the rows. So I'm gonna okay that. And I just need the employee last name, first name. I'll leave country and city and all of that alone for now, because it's like we're having too many of them already. And I'm going to uncheck this here so that we don't have that complicated. Okay. So now we've got last name, first name. I'm just gonna put employee, maybe M in front, so that we can differentiate what this is about. And I'll put M here as well. Okay. And there's one of the questions that says we need a full name. So it's best for us to combine these two for full name from this point. So I'm going to click on this and click on press down my control key to click on this. And I just want to combine So I'll right click and look for merge columns. So we've got merge columns, and I believe merge columns should be under add column here somewhere as well. Yeah. So you see that I do a right click and use it from here, or under add column is, there's a merge column. So whichever one you use is the same thing. It's going to bring us this dialog box, and it's saying, do we want a separator between the two? Yes, we need a space. And what's the new name going to be? We don't want it called merged. We want it called employee full name. Full name. So, and yes, so we've got that sorted. For now, I believe we can close and load, and then if we go to our pivot table, we can then from this point do as much as we want on our pivot table. We've got other details. I'm going to close this, and we do have a pivot table. I believe this is the one. Let's see. Okay. We have another one here. So now I'm thinking, which one should we use? This one was, throwing up yesterday. So I'm going to delete it, and we'll go back to our original one. Yeah, let's delete this. Yes, delete it. And then we can use the one we actually started with, pivot table. So it's good, it's necessary, not just good, to refresh. So we have all the changes that we've made so far. We couldn't complete the action for the pivot table. Please try again. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have deleted that. So let's make a new pivot table and start all over again. Okay, so how do we get into our pivot table? Very quickly, who can remind us how we make a new pivot table?
You click on insert.
Yeah.
Pivot table. Click
Yeah.
on pivot table.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we can say a new worksheet.
New worksheet, yeah.
Okay. Now, at some point, we are going to start using this option. Okay. But for now, let's keep it simple, then we can build up. Okay. So now we have this pivot table, and it's going to be really, I always like to sort it so that it's easy to navigate around. Okay. We've got two total sales for some reason. If we go back into the table, why is it giving us two totals? Okay, we did work out one before. There was a total sales that we did before, so that needs to go, because where is it here? We do not want a conflict of interest. These total sales we did within Power Query. Well, I'm looking for the other total sales and I can't find it. Maybe I hid it. Maybe it's hidden somewhere. Anyway, let's go back to our new pivot table. Not this one. Okay. If you've got, so let me undo that. If you've got many tabs to open and you want to navigate quickly, one shortcut you can use is to come to this and just right click this and just right click on there. click on that arrow and it brings every one of them to you. So you can easily see all of the tables and pick the one you need. And I'm thinking this is the one we need. It's a new sheet, so no, not this one. What is the pivot table I just made? Sheet 4? Yeah, it's this one. Okay, let's rename it so that we are not confused. This is where it's really important to have a to name your tabs accordingly. Okay, and then if we go back to spend the next 5 minutes very quickly. If we go to our business requirement, oh, come on. It's not far off. Total sales by customer name was the first one. Okay, so pivot table 2. Double click that. Click on this. So by customer name, so we need our customer name. And we need the total sales. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so I don't know why it's saying NA. Why is it bringing NA? So it's, again, this is something that we need to look into. Why have we got NA in our customer name? That must be some cleaning that was not done properly, but we can uncheck that from here because no one's bearing that here, NA. And then why have I? Yeah, it's on rows. It should bring a whole row of it for me, but it's bringing it in this format. I have no idea. Clear filter from. I have no idea why it's doing that, to be honest. Let's remove it. Now drag it back in. Customer name. That's interesting. So we've got it all here, but it's not showing it as a whole table. Could it be my design? I've not seen it behave like that before, so you would pardon me. Report layout, tabular form.
What if you remove the filter? That filter is showing up there.
Yes, okay, so if we remove the filter, say, it's just bringing one row, but they're all there. So I don't know what setting is causing this at all. But it would be a problem.
You need to refresh the table again.
Let's try refreshing. It keeps saying this as well. We couldn't refresh something, blah, 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 blah. So I have no idea why we've got that sort of, this sort of.
I think it's there's another pivot table again.
Yeah, but not on this same page. You know, we've got a pivot table here that we started with. Okay, this one here. Customer name. And the same thing is happening with this customer name here as well. So I don't know why we got that. I'm going to need to investigate why that is happening, you know. But I believe we've got a good idea of how we do our pivot table anyway. It would have been nice to see all the names listed out like we have here now, you know. What customer name is this one? This one, this is the categories now. So I'm clicking on this second one, and we've got category name, supplier name, okay, and the total sales, okay. Sum of total sales 2 is what we have here. But here we just have the sales. So the whole there's been too much done in this my workbook. A whole lot of changes that have combined, which is messing things around for me. I might need to clean things up or get a new work one for us to use. But we'll still be able to preserve the work that we have done so far. But how we get our pivot table and how we get information into it, I'm very sure we are fine with that. Let me see if I'm not using customer name and I decide to use category name. You see, that was good. That was fine. So there is something about customer name that it is not happy with. And this is where your job as a data detective now starts to kick in. 1 minute you think you have solved one problem only to get another. That is you see, this is what I wanted to do with customer name. So I need
Was
to
it
go
because
back.
you deleted one of the, we had 2 sets of customer names and you deleted one?
It might be.
Was that where the problem came from?
Or the total sales. We had total sales 1, total sales 2. So either that or deleting one of the other customer name. So that might be, it's a possibility.
Can't you undo from here?
I can, but do I want to undo? The question is, do I really want to undo? So it's going to need a few steps of undoing.
Investigate where, well, just investigation anyway. So
yeah, just to investigate what was it that was, something was done not right, something was done wrong at some point, and it's not happy with it. And there's need to, your undo suggestion is actually good, because one can retrace 1 steps back and have a look and see what it was that is not happy with, But so far, I hope we got 1 or 2 things out of today's session. What I'm going to do so that we don't keep having problem with this data sheet is I'm going to get a new one, because I've used VLOOKUP on the same one. I've then carried it into Power Query, and there's been a few conflicts here and there, So sometimes, again, this happens at work. It could be that you've done work to a certain extent, then something is not right, and you've got to fish it out, find what it was, and you might need to start afresh after fishing that problem out many times. But the thing is, you get to archive. Instead of deleting this now, I'm going to archive it away, because it might be useful for information purpose for another project someday, But you would always need to start again if need be. And I see that's the situation that's presenting itself in this situation. So it's real life situation as well. But yeah, have we got any question as per what we've done so far today?